News Source 16, breaking news from the University of Oregon. The athletic department is making a significant announcement about the future of Athletic Director Mike Bellotti. There's a news conference just starting now. We want to listen live to what Mike Bellotti is about to say.
From Mike Bellotti, then we'll have a Q&A session after that. Afterwards, we have some members of our coaching staff available for one-offs. Women's soccer coach Tara Erickson, and from the football staff, Nick Aliotti and Chip Kelly. We also have Phil Weiler and Julie Brown here from campus if you have any questions specifically for the campus staff. Okay? Thanks, everyone. Mike?
Thanks for coming. I'm here to update you on our basketball search. We haven't found our person yet, but we are actually hiring a search firm, Spencer & Stewart, to oversee finding our next basketball coach. They're the ones that did the conference commissioner search. It resulted in the hiring of Larry Scott. And I think that's very positive for us. The reason that they're doing that we hired that search firm, is because I am leaving the university effective April 5th. One of the toughest decisions in my life was about 1 year and 1 day ago, and that was to walk away from the football job here at the University of Oregon. The second most difficult is today, as I said, and that is leaving the university entirely. I was offered on Monday an official contract from ESPN to join their college football broadcasting crew. It's something that I have thought about, maybe aspired to over the years, and felt was something that could fit into my knowledge of football, my experience and passion for the game, and that type of thing. And timing in life is everything. This is not the most appropriate timing in my perception, just because of the situations that have occurred. I want to make sure everybody understands that I'm not running from anything at all. I faced much more difficult situations as the football coach and weathered those, and I was planning on weathering these storms also as we move forward. And we know in the public world, sometimes you're quickly forgotten. I was told halfway through last season by some people that, well, you've already been out a year, and I said, gosh, I really didn't think it was a year yet, but that was their perception. So it is, again, with somewhat a feeling of unfinished business that I take this leave. I've got great support from the president and the administration and the department here. And as you go forward, I've said this the other day, when we have difficulties that occur, and certainly we had our share in the past couple of months, those are transitory things. Our young men and women of this program, our coaches, are great people. They care. They do great things. And the other day I was asked, are you having a good day? And I said, let me think about that for a second. And I said, yes, absolutely. We just won a national championship in women's track and field. We had a runner-up in the men's division. We had a world record set. We can look at the turnaround of our baseball program, our softball program. Our men's golf program is ranked third in the nation. Our team stunts and gymnastics is going to compete for a national championship here very soon. So as the athletic director, I take my lead every day from all the things that happen. I have to admit that I think the University of Oregon deserves somebody that really has a passion about being the athletic director. I know that it quickly became apparent to me that I like and enjoy college athletics. I love college football. It's been my life, and this new opportunity with ESPN, I think, allows me to continue to pursue that, to utilize my experience and my expertise and my passion, and staying connected to the game. Right now, President Riviere will meet with some of our coaches and athletic administrative staff to determine who will become an interim director, whether it's from inside the department or outside. There will be a national search as we go forward. And I'm sure, I really feel that the university and our department is in great hands. And I turn it over to our coaches and to our administrators with the thought that this year, in the brief time I was here, we watched the opening of the John Jaques Center, which has been my dream for a long time. baseball field, just a bunch of stuff. So, questions?
Like, if you maybe end up missing being part of college football on a daily basis more than you actually anticipated?
Yes and no. I missed college football on Friday nights, Saturday mornings, or Saturday all day, and Sunday mornings. I did not miss it Monday through Thursday. I miss the camaraderie with the coaches.
Do you regret stepping down as head coach?
No, not at all.
Do you feel like you were pushed out at all to become a head coach?
No, not at all. I feel very fortunate that I had the support of the administration, everybody involved with those decisions, to make the timeline my own. And no, it was absolutely my decision, and I think it was the right decision at the time. I think this is the right decision. The one thing I couldn't finish is I miss the relationship with the players. That's what I miss. I'm not sure I'll have it in this new job, but I will be able to stay close to college football. I'll have the camaraderie of the coaches on a national basis. And it really is exciting from that regard that you get a chance to talk about the game of football and, you know, every day in a sense.
What will be your role in the search for a basketball coach?
It'll be as a consultant. I will stay on board through the end of April officially, but it'll be more just dealing with problems that come up or things that we had decided and helping to mentor the interim person or my successor. I will have some voice in the search. I will not have any decision-making capacity.
Mike, do you think that the fact that the new coach may not know who they're going to work for is going to have an impact on the search?
Yes, but I think it would have been worse if the new coach, if I hired him and knew I was leaving within the month. And so I felt, and President LaRiviere and I felt that it was only fair for me to not be involved in that, or lend my expertise, but not be a decision person.
At ESPN, are you going to be in studio analyst, or are you going to be game by color commentary, or is that not been determined?
Both, actually. And we've discussed that, and I'll probably learn more as we go. I'll be involved with some spring games across the nation and their spring football programming. Then it'll be a combination of on-site football games and then studio work also.
Do you think there's some kind of intended timeline for your discussions with ESPN, when they began and when they began to do that?
We have been talking probably for months in that regard, and in all honesty, I had hoped to maybe do both jobs, have some availability to do a game next year when Oregon had a bye, a midweek game where I could work with them, get my feet in the door, get my feet wet, that type of thing. They were not in favor of that. They felt it would be a conflict of interest for the athletic director at Oregon to be a national analyst of college football, and I understand that. So it made a tough decision for me. I really thought that a lot of this would probably take place after July, more with the September through January timeline, which is what most of the announcers do. I think because of my background, because of the desire to give me some practical experience, they moved up that timeline, and that was obviously the most difficult thing about this decision. But as I said before, it is a once in a lifetime. Several people have told me how fortunate I am to get this opportunity, and I probably don't realize it yet. I'm just excited about it, and yet at the same time I feel bad at the timing of my leaving.
Will you make a recommendation to the president about an interim meeting?
I will, and I have. That's between the president and I.
What are your biggest memories during the time here? I know there's a lot of them, but any that stand out?
No. And I say that only because there's so many. And I tried to think of something last night in anticipation of that question, and there are so many that I can't even tell you, and all great. And I would not be giving all the due to all the people that have made my life successful, the coaches, the players, the fans, over the years that I've been here. So I can't think of, you can talk about Rose Bowls, Fiesta Bowls, all the bowl games, all the great comeback victories. Any one of those could stand out.
You mentioned the timing of it, but for some people that might, from the outside, look at the perception that Tuesday you're having a coaching change,
Well, the coaching change actually was made February 22nd. I think that's the date we talked about. So I think, and that was an accumulation of information not based on just a couple weeks or 1 year. It was, as I said before, 5 to 6 years of information gathering and that type of thing. So I don't think that timing can be looked on as affected by this decision or anything about that. This decision actually happened Wednesday night for me.
Was there any philosophical disagreements with the president that led you to finally decide you wanted to go?
No, no. I think there are always differences about how you go forward. In a situation where we are self-supporting and self-sufficient with dwindling state aid and facing a $66 million budget with bond payments that are necessary, I think we're always looking about and collaborating with the university. I've asked for many things that President Rivera said no about, and basically because he has to deal with the entire university. There were not philosophical differences. There were ways that I suggested some solutions that weren't possible, and I'm sure at some point they will be. I think, again, we've known that this year and next year were going to be very difficult for our athletic department based on the lack of availability of Matt Knight Arena, based on our debt service, based on the economy. I do think things for the future look very, very good. In 2 years, I believe we will be saying that this is a great job and that we'll have not easy street or not a gravy train, but simply that we will pay our bills, we will balance the budget, and we will look forward to being able to improve our facilities on a consistent basis.
Mike, at what moment did you know you wanted to get out of the athletic director?
I don't think there was one moment of that. I could have easily continued on this job. The thing that made up my mind was the offer from ESPN and the talking with some other people across the nation about the value of this opportunity.
Did you feel comfortable doing things like firing coaches over and is that something that's tough for you to do?
That was tough for me to do. That's not a fun thing, and it's not something I enjoyed. I've fired coaches before. I haven't fired entire staffs before. That was different, and you affect a lot more people's lives, and you realize that. Was that why I left? No. But certainly those things, when I signed on for this job, I knew what it entailed. I was not shocked or surprised by anything that occurred. However, you recognize as the athletic director that ultimately you're responsible for everything. In the reality, you are totally dependent upon each coach and each athlete and each staff person to do the right things. And so you hope that you put a framework together, a structure, a discipline that everybody can buy into. I think we're on that path and we were heading that direction. You know, we didn't quite get there, probably more because of time than anything else.
When you talk about your love for college football, do you see yourself ever returning to coaching?
You never say never, but no, that's not the reason. That's not the intent of this move. College football is a 24/7, 365 job. It's more than that now. And I saw that, the growth of that time commitment over the years. I think Chip does a tremendous job in everything. And I also think that, you know, I know what it takes. And at this point, that's not in my future.
Mike, does this call for a relocation, or will you continue living?
I will live in Eugene, Oregon. I will travel occasionally, probably about 16 to 18 weekends a year.
Coach, you didn't want to single out one moment, but what about your legacy here?
I'd rather have you guys do that. I think, again, my legacy is just that I think some people said we've been able to make football relevant. I think that's a neat thing to say. It's more about the people that we brought into the program, the people that remain, the players that have gone on, and the ability to affect young men's lives.
How is it stay connected to the university program as the year goes on?
Well, I'm scheduled to show up at a lot of events. You know, most of those will still work with my new work schedule because the primary job emphasis is late August through the national championship game. There are going to be isolated incidents between now and then. I still expect to be involved with athletic events and possibly even university events. I have talked with the president, and I'll talk with our athletic administration, because you don't spend 21 years somewhere and not have deep roots.
Like, you've seen the evolution of the department in that job and now sat in it. What would be primary attributes you think are necessary for one to permanently succeed?
Great communication skills, great organizational skills, a business background, potentially a legal background. I think obviously an understanding of college athletics, but I don't think you have to be a coach. I don't think you have to be a player. I think, in this day and age, this is a business, and as such, we have to stand on our own. And we're unique in that we, and some call us a private enterprise. We're not. We're joined at the hip by the student athlete and with the university, but we're a business in a different sense. We have a budget that is supposedly guaranteed by non-guaranteed revenues, ticket sales, TV revenues that we cannot project from year to year. We have things that come upon us with tuition increases that we have no control over. So again, probably first and foremost is the business background that will understand the economics of the times and putting forth strategic plans for development of facilities and revenues.
Mike, beyond, as you said, the camaraderie of coaches, what else makes this position as college football analyst for ESPN appealing?
Well, you can get a chance to talk about football with impunity to a degree. I mean, I'm not constrained by NC2A rules. I'm not allied to one particular conference or school, although in my heart I may. But I think it's just a chance to enjoy a game. It's a little bit like spring football. You get to coach. You don't have to worry about winning and losing. I get to talk about football. I don't have to worry about who wins or who loses. I'm not ego involved with that, and yet I can use my background and expertise to say, gosh, this coach might have thought of this, or could be doing this, or this is his thought process, and it allowed me to stay current with the game. One of the things that I don't do as much as because of the athletic director job, is I'm trying to catch up on all the other sports, and so it'll give me a chance to read about and talk with some of my friends across the nation that I've known for 30-some years.
You did commentary for the OSN games last season. Was there anything in the back of your mind where you were thinking during that time, wow, this really feels good, this is maybe where I want to go?
To a degree, yes. I mean, that I've said publicly that was the most fun part of my job, and it really wasn't part of my job. But it felt like, something I could do, and it was a way to stay connected to the game that I really enjoyed and appreciated. And so, yes, I think at that time I started to formulate an idea, and I'd had that thought before. I thought when I eventually left college football as a coach, there might be I'd been told there were opportunities there and that I should pursue them, and I didn't. The athletic director job was a timing issue and an opportunity and maybe a drafted situation that I felt like I could do some things for the department. I think down deep and in the back of my mind, yes, it was always a factor.
So in terms of the search for the new basketball coach, was that going to be your decision?
Yes.
Who's making that decision?
That's a good question. The president will be involved. Pat Kilkenny will be involved. The search firm obviously will do a tremendous share of the lion's work of research and presenting available candidates or candidates that meet our profile and criteria.
How much is the contract with the search firm? You work that out. How much are you paying for that?
I'm not involved with that part, so I can't tell you.
Mike, you mentioned Pat Kilkenny. Is his role going to change now with the
I don't think so. He's been a consultant to our department the entire time I've been here. He's still been active in some projects based on oversight, and he's been a tremendous friend and partner to this department.
Any chance that would come back in favor?
I don't think so, but I talked to him yesterday. That was not in his plan, but you never know.
Mike, you had described this past year with all the ups and downs.
The best of times and the worst of times? How's that? You know, and I think our football season was a microcosm of this. I mean, certainly the first game and the incident, and, you know, which I thought we did a great job of digging our way out of and changing a lot of thought processes. And then, you know, the excitement of the Rose Bowl, tough game, great opponent, and great effort by our young men. And then hopefully building on that, then the difficulties involved with problems. You know, those things I do believe were an aberration. I honestly think that we're doing all the right things. We are in the process of beefing up our student conduct codes for the department. We had a meeting today with every head coach, and that's one of the things that before I leave will be done. We have a mission statement that we will probably release next week that is an updated version and model that I think is current, that will also help across campus, across the nation, that we will be very comfortable being held accountable to. And again, that's something that I'm very passionate about. As I said, the opening of the Jaquith Center, the opening of the baseball facility, the construction and continuing construction on Matt Knight Arena, those are amazing things. And they're tremendous things that I think sometimes we shouldn't have to defend those or make excuses for them. They are tremendous opportunities for us as a department, us as a university, and we're only going to benefit from those things in the future.
Mike, do you know maybe who your play-by-play partner might be? And have you talked to Fauch or anybody?
I have not talked to Dan in that regard. I actually talked to Dan, got him to come back for some things to help our athletic department on our campus. We did not discuss it at the time. I don't know who my partners on screen will be. I owe a great debt of gratitude to Joe Ginsanti for allowing me to come into the booth, for helping me, for making me look like I knew what I was doing. So, Joe, thank you.
Anything else? Mike, thank you.
Thank you.
You've been watching News Source 16 live coverage of breaking news. Mike Bellotti trying hard to hold it together as he announced his plans to leave the University of Oregon. Bellotti says that he is accepting a job at ESPN as a commentator, but will stay on board at the University of Oregon through the end of April. That's when his 21-year career will effectively end at the University of Oregon. He's been with U of O since 1989. Now, he says he made this decision on Wednesday of this week after getting the offer on Monday from ESPN. But he says he will remain living in Eugene. Of course, many unanswered questions. What happens to the search for the basketball coach, and what happens to the search for Bellotti's successor? Much to cover tonight on News Source 16 at 5 o'clock. Join us as we get fan reaction, athletic teammate reaction, and reaction from the university itself. You want to keep it here on News Source 16 at 5 o'clock. We'll have a complete coverage later tonight. This has been News Source 16 Breaking News.
This has been a News Source special report.